Hey there folks, it's Spramani with Nature Bar, and I wanted to jump on today to talk about how you can introduce colors to early childhood children very simply and some concepts and ideas that work for me. Okay, so I'm going to show you this cute little book, Mouse Paint. The reason why I'm showing you that is I just want you to focus really on the three primary colors, because a lot of teachers and parents ask me, how do you introduce color and mediums to little kids, and how do I stage that? Well, I'm going to show you some samples. I'm going to give you some ideas today. So I like to take things very slowly with early childhood children. So simple that I actually only introduce one color at a time, then build onto the next color. And I like to start with primary color, so that's why I'm using this example and these trays that I'm going to be sharing in a minute. So if you take a look at these trays here that I have three primary colors here. Now, if you want to know more about the trays, there are melamine trays that are washable. I'm using some easy washable tempera paint sticks and dot stampers. They can wash off really easy with soap and water. One of the reasons I like to use that is because I don't have to use paper with the little ones just to get them, getting them exploring and trying out a new medium they've never seen before. So how I do this? Okay, so what I would actually do, I would not introduce all these trays and all these colors and all these mediums at one time. What I would do is stage it one at a time. I would actually bring out one tray and maybe the red paint stick and introduce the medium and show them how it works on the tray, and maybe do some little simple elements like squiggly lines and straight lines and zigzags, and just kind of have them try it out and play with that. And then the next day I might bring out the second red medium of a different paint stick or maybe a paint dot stamper, and do it very slowly. And then I'd probably put that tray and stage it aside so they can have choice and come and pick it up at any time. Then I would the next day probably introduce yellow, or the next few days I would introduce yellow and start again very slowly. One medium, yellow, and then just have them go through some process-based exploring and playing. And then the following day I would add in another yellow medium, teaching them teaching them how to use it, teaching them to try it out, showing them what it can do, connecting language, yellow, the word yellow, and connecting the elements of art, like what can you do with a medium, like making straight lines or making circles or basic shapes. And then the following weeks I'd probably follow up with introducing blue. Now, as you can see, this is very basic and very general. This is the very, very beginning steps that I start with. It's just introducing colors one at a time. And that's really the focus and point of this video, is so you understand that you need to take it very slowly with children. Now, is there a right way and a wrong way? No, this is just what works for me. And this is how I do it when I'm introducing primary colors and moving into secondary colors, because color is very important in visual arts, and I like to take it slow. And I know that young children need to take it slow, and they don't need to be overwhelmed by too many mediums. Then I would have all three primaries out, and after they've had an opportunity to be exposed to all three of the trays, then I would stage them and they can, work with them. And once they understand the primary colors, then I can move on to mixing lessons and introducing them to other different mediums that can be used for that. So that's what that is my advice for you today, is to take it easy, one at a time. So really, like this green paint stick I have here, actually this isn't a paint stick, this is a dot stamper. One day green, maybe the next day I'd introduce a different color like pink, and we do some dot stamping. And then maybe the following day I'd have both of them out, green and pink. And then maybe I might even talk about contrasting colors and, and the elements, of circles and dots and dashes and things like that. You can actually make lines with these things. So that is my tip for today, is how you introduce colors to early childhood children. Very simple, one color at a time, building on to the next, one color at a time, and then maybe multiple different mediums that are in that same color, and introducing to them. Now, if you want to learn more about process-based and choice-based, all those things I said, they're in my art guides. I recommend that you check them out. I have an early childhood art guide, and I have an elementary art guide that talks about all these things. All right, I hope that helped, and love to hear your feedback. If you have things that are working for you in the classroom, love to hear from you. Hit reply and let me know. All right, bye.